Hi, and welcome to English-Fabule. Are you learning English? Great. Let's learn English with a very interesting story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's get started.
Many say that leaving North Korea is very difficult. Many people try to escape, but it is not easy. They must risk their lives for a chance of freedom. Life in North Korea can be very hard. Some people are hungry. Others do not like the strong government control. This makes them want to leave even when they know the danger. There are different ways to escape. One way is to cross the border into South Korea. This border area is called the DMZ. A demilitarized zone, or DMZ for short, is an area, usually near a place between two countries, which is called border, where there are no soldiers, no weapons, and no fighting allowed. It's like a free space or a buffer to help keep them separate and stop problems. It is one of the most dangerous borders in the world. It has many soldiers, weapons, and guns. Very few people can cross the DMZ. In 2017, a North Korean soldier named Oh Chang-song made a very fast and dangerous run across the DMZ. He was shot many times, but he survived. His escape was very unusual. Another way to escape is by sea. This is also very dangerous. The sea journey is long and difficult. Only a small number of people have escaped this way. One fisherman used a diving suit and swam for 6 hours to reach South Korea. The most common way to escape is to cross the rivers into China. North Korea shares a long border with China. Two rivers, the Yalu River and the Tumen River, make most of this border. In some parts, these rivers are not very deep. In winter, the rivers freeze. People can walk on the ice. Many North Koreans try to cross the rivers, often at night. It is still very dangerous. Guards patrol the rivers. If people reach China, they are still not safe. They can be caught and sent back to North Korea, or they can face other dangers in China. This book tells the story of Hyeonseo. Her journey is one example of the many difficult escapes from North Korea. Her story shows the courage people need to find freedom. Inside North Korea, life is controlled. The government watches people closely. There is constant surveillance. People cannot speak freely about their thoughts or feelings. They learn from a young age to respect the leaders and be careful about what they say. The outside world seems different. Sometimes people near the border can see lights and activity in China. This looks attractive compared to the darkness and control in North Korea. But the outside world also holds risks for escapees. Many people escape for different reasons. Some, like Oh Chang-song, are soldiers. Others are ordinary people trying to escape hunger or find freedom from oppression. Every escape story is different, but all involve great risk and hope for a better life. 2. A family's start. Hyeonseo's mother met the man who became her stepfather on a train. She was traveling to Pyongyang. He was a young army officer. They talked for a long time on the journey. He asked if he could write letters to her. She said yes and gave him her address in Hyeonseo. For 6 months, no letter came. Then one evening, he came to her house. They started seeing each other and fell in love. Her family liked him. But Hyeonseo's grandmother did not want them to marry. She thought her daughter could find a richer husband. Instead, Hyeonseo's mother married an official from Pyongyang. It was an arranged marriage. She was not happy. Soon after Hyeonseo was born, her mother left the official. Her birth name was Kim Jae-hee. The marriage ended quickly. Hyeonseo's mother went back to the army officer she loved. He still loved her very much. He accepted Hyeonseo as his own daughter. But his parents were not happy. They did not want their son to marry a woman who was divorced and had a child from another man. It was a big problem. In North Korea, family background is very important. This background is called songbun. It decides your job, where you can live, and many things about your life. There are three main groups: loyal, wavering, or hostile. Hyeonseo's mother's family had very good songbun. Her grandfather was a war hero. Her grandmother was an early member of the party. The officer's family also had good songbun, but they did not like the situation. Finally, the officer's parents agreed to the marriage, but they had one condition. The little girl's name must be changed completely. This was unusual. Usually only the family name changes, but Hyeonseo's mother agreed. So when she was 4 years old, Kim Jae-hee became Park Min-young. She did not know that this man was not her real father. She called him father. Min-young spent her first years in Hyeonseo. This town was on the border with China. The Yalu River was the border. People in Hyeonseo often traded goods with China, sometimes legally, sometimes illegally. Because of this trade, life in Hyeonseo was often a little better than in other parts of North Korea. One day, when Min-young was very young, she was playing near the train tracks behind her house. A huge train came very fast around a curve. She did not see it in time. Suddenly, she was under the moving train. The driver could not stop. People shouted. When the train stopped, Min-young crawled out from underneath. She was laughing. Her mother ran to her, very scared but very happy she was alive. A woman in the crowd said it was a sign of good luck. She said Min-young would have a long life. 3. Growing up north. In 1984, when Hyeonseo was 4 years old, the family moved. Her father got a new job in the military. They went to live in Anju, a city near the west coast. Anju was different from Hyeonseo. It was a coal mining city. The river there was black with coal dust. The family lived in a house on her father's military base. Inside their new house, there was a radio speaker on the wall. They could not turn it off. Sometimes it played loud messages from the government or the banjang. The banjang was the leader of their neighborhood. She watched the families. The banjang gave them 2 pictures for their wall. The pictures were portraits of the country's leaders, Kim Il-sung and his son Kim Jong-il. These portraits were very important. They hung in every house and building. Hyeonseo's family had to clean them with a special cloth. They could not point at the pictures. They had to be the highest things on the wall. Every month, officials came to check the portraits. If a family did not clean them well, they could be punished. Hyeonseo learned that looking after the portraits was the first rule. The family ate and slept under the eyes of the leaders on the wall. Hyeonseo started kindergarten in Anju when she was 6. The classroom walls had colorful pictures. Some pictures showed children playing. Another picture showed a North Korean soldier hurting enemies, an American, a Japanese, and a South Korean soldier. Hyeonseo learned songs about the leaders. The teachers told stories about how great Kim Il-sung was. They said he was like a god. They learned that Kim Jong-il's birth was magical, with rainbows and a new star in the sky. The children learned to love the leaders. They also learned to hate the country's enemies. The teachers told them American soldiers were bad and hurt children. Hyeonseo felt sorry for South Korean children who, the teachers said, were poor and hungry. Life in Anju was not always happy. One hot afternoon when Hyeonseo was 7, she saw a crowd near a bridge. She went closer to look. A man was hanging from the bridge by his neck. Soldiers stood nearby. People watched silently. Hyeonseo felt confused and scared. She ran home. Her mother told her never to watch those things again. That year, Hyeonseo's mother had a baby boy. His name was Min-ho. Hyeonseo now had a little brother. Even in daily life, there was always the feeling of military tension. Far away, the border between North and South Korea, the demilitarized zone, was full of soldiers and danger. Escaping that way was almost impossible. Hyeonseo's family did not talk much about politics or danger. Her father's job meant they had enough food. They often ate fish or meat, unlike many other families. They had a better life than many people in North Korea. 4. A hidden truth. The family moved again, this time to Hamhung. Hamhung was a big city on the east coast. It was famous for making a special material called vinylon. The city was busy, but the air was often yellow and smelled bad because of the factories. Hyeonseo started a new school in Hamhung. School life had many rules and activities. Every Saturday, the students had life purification time. In these sessions, students had to stand up and criticize another student. They also had to confess something bad they did. Hyeonseo did not like these sessions. They made everyone feel scared. Sometimes she made a deal with a friend. One week, her friend criticized her. The next week, Hyeonseo criticized her friend. This way, they could stay friends. When Hyeonseo was 9 years old, she joined the Young Pioneer Corps. This was an important day. All children joined this group. There was a big ceremony at school. Hyeonseo got a special red scarf and a badge. Her mother bought her beautiful new red shoes for the ceremony. Hyeonseo felt very proud wearing her red scarf and new red shoes. One day during the school holidays, Hyeonseo visited her grandmother. Her grandmother told her a big secret. She showed Hyeonseo an old black and white photo. It was a wedding photo of Hyeonseo's mother, but the man in the photo was not Hyeonseo's father. Her grandmother explained that this man was Hyeonseo's real biological father. The man she called father was her stepfather. Hyeonseo was shocked and sad. She could not understand. She did not tell her mother or stepfather what her grandmother told her, but the secret changed things. Hyeonseo started to feel distant from her stepfather, the kind man who raised her. She also felt different towards her brother, Min-ho. He was her half-brother. She started to fight with him more. Later, Hyeonseo's stepfather left the Air Force. He got a new job with a trading company. His job meant he could travel to China. This was a good job and gave the family status. One evening, their house in Hamhung caught fire. It happened very fast. Smoke and flames came from the kitchen. Hyeonseo's stepfather ran back into the burning house. He did not save money or clothes. He saved the important pictures of the country's leaders. The house was destroyed, but the family was safe. This event showed how quickly life could change. While Hyeonseo faced secret family problems, other people in North Korea faced different dangers. Some risked their lives trying to escape the country, like crossing the dangerous border zone called the DMZ, but this was extremely risky and very few people tried it. 5. Hunger and doubt. Around this time, Hyeonseo discovered something new and dangerous. Her friend had cassette tapes of South Korean pop music. This music was illegal in North Korea. Listening to it was a serious crime. Hyeonseo and her friends listened secretly in their houses when parents were out. They danced quietly. Hyeonseo especially loved a song called Rocky Island. She learned to play it on her accordion, always careful not to be heard. These songs showed her a different world, a world of feelings not usually expressed in North Korean songs. One day her house burned down. The fire destroyed many things, including the secret music tapes. Life in North Korea started to change very much in the mid-1990s. A terrible time of hunger began. People called it the Arduous March. The government food system, the public distribution system, stopped working well. Food rations became smaller, or sometimes there was no food given at all. Many people did not have enough to eat. Hyeonseo saw this change happening around her. Her family still had enough food because of her father's job and her mother's trading, but they saw the suffering of others. Soon, hungry people appeared on the streets of Hyeonseo. They were beggars. Many were homeless children called kachibai. They came from the countryside where the hunger was worse. They had lost their parents and had nobody to care for them. Hyeonseo saw a young mother lying on the ground with her baby. They were very thin and weak. People walked past them. It was a sad sight, new and shocking in her country. The hunger affected everything. People cut down trees on the hillsides near the towns. They needed wood for fuel because the government did not provide enough coal or electricity. The beautiful green hills started to look bare and brown. The lack of fuel also meant factories closed and towns were often dark at night. Electricity cuts were frequent. Hyeonseo's family used a simple oil lamp for light in the evenings. Living by the Yalu River, Hyeonseo saw terrible things. Sometimes, dead bodies floated down the river. These were people who had tried to cross into China to find food or escape. They were too weak from hunger and drowned in the cold water. Border guards tried to remove the bodies early in the morning before too many people saw them. Life was very different in Pyongyang, the capital city. Important people and those loyal to the government lived there. They were protected from the worst of the hunger. They still had enough food and electricity. But in towns like Hyeonseo, far from the capital, ordinary people suffered greatly. Seeing this difference made Hyeonseo feel doubt about her country. Hyeonseo's mother knew she had to find ways to protect her family. She started doing more illegal trading. She used her contacts in China to get goods like clothes or food. She sold these things in North Korea to make money. This was risky, but many people near the border did similar things to survive during the famine. 6. The river beckons. Hyeonseo and her family were back in Hyeonseo. Their new house was very close to the Yalu River. This river was the border between North Korea and China. From the house, Hyeonseo could look across the water and see China. The family had a television. Sometimes, when her mother was not home, Hyeonseo watched Chinese TV channels. This was very dangerous and illegal in North Korea. She covered the windows with blankets so no one could see the light or know what she was watching. The Chinese programs showed a very different world. People on TV lived in nice homes with modern things like washing machines. There were many colorful advertisements for food and products. This world looked exciting. It was not like the life Hyeonseo knew in Hyeonseo. It made her question what she learned at school about North Korea being the best country. At night, Hyeonseo was often dark because the electricity did not work well. But across the river, the Chinese town of Changbai was bright with lights. Hyeonseo saw the lights every night. Changbai looked modern and full of life. Hyeonseo looked dark and quiet. Seeing the lights made Hyeonseo want to visit China even more. She was very curious. For North Koreans who wanted to leave their country, crossing the rivers into China was the most common way. The Yalu River and the Tumen River were the borders. Crossing the DMZ into South Korea was almost impossible because it was heavily guarded. Going by sea was also extremely dangerous and rare. The rivers were dangerous too, with guards watching, but it was the main path people took. Sometimes in winter, the rivers froze solid and people could try to walk across the ice. Hyeonseo felt a strong desire to see China. She wanted to know if the bright lights and the life shown on TV were real. She was 17 years old. Soon she would turn 18. In North Korea, people get their official ID card when they become adults. The punishment for crossing the border illegally was much worse for adults than for children. Hyeonseo felt this might be her only chance to visit China for a short time. One of her friends asked if she wanted to cross the river with her, just for a few hours. Hyeonseo asked her mother for permission. She expected her mother to agree, but her mother said no very firmly. She told Hyeonseo it was a serious crime and too dangerous. Minho crosses sometimes, Hyeonseo said. Her mother explained that Minho was still young and a boy. Hyeonseo was nearly a woman and the risks were greater for her. Her mother forbade her from ever leaving the country. Hyeonseo understood her mother's fear, but the bright lights of Changbai still seemed to call her from across the dark river. 7. The crossing. Hyeonseo was 17 years old. It was a very cold December night in Hyeonseo. The Yalu River was frozen solid. Across the river, she could see the lights of China. She wanted to see China before she turned 18. After 18, it was more dangerous to cross the border illegally. Her mother said no, it was too risky, but Hyeonseo made a plan to go alone. She went out after dinner. The air was freezing. Stars were bright in the dark sky. She walked along the riverbank path. She found the border guard, Chang-ho. He was her friend. He was patrolling alone with his rifle on his back. Hyeonseo spoke quietly. Chang-ho, I need to cross the river. Chang-ho looked surprised. Why, it's dangerous. I want to visit my relatives in China, Hyeonseo lied. Just for a few hours, I will be back soon. She pointed to her nice new shoes. I cannot be long in these shoes. Chang-ho worried. You are alone. What if you get caught? North Korea was a hard country. Leaving was not allowed. China also sent people back. Getting caught was very dangerous for defectors. Please, Chang-ho, just for a short time. Chang-ho thought for a moment. He looked at the dark, frozen river. He looked at Hyeonseo. He knew her family. He agreed, but he was not happy. Okay, but be very quick. Don't be long. Hyeonseo's heart was beating very fast. She was scared but also excited. She took a deep breath. She stepped onto the frozen river. The ice was slippery under her new shoes. It was only a short way across, maybe 20 steps. She walked quickly, trying not to fall. She did not look back at North Korea. In less than a minute, she was on the Chinese side. She was out. But she was not safe. Many North Koreans try to escape this way, across the Yalu or Tumen rivers, especially in winter when they freeze. It is the most common way to leave North Korea. Other ways are very rare and much more dangerous. Some soldiers, like Oh Chang-song, made a fast run across the dangerous DMZ border to South Korea, but few survive. A few people, like a fisherman, tried to cross the sea. These routes are almost impossible. For Hyeonseo and most people escaping, crossing the river into China was the main path, but the danger was not over. Now she was in China. Chinese police could catch her at any time. If they caught her, they would send her back to North Korea. And North Korea punished people who tried to escape, often very badly. Hyeonseo was alone in a new country and she was afraid. 8 journeys into the unknown. Hyeonseo arrived in Shenyang, a big city in China. She was surprised by the bright lights and busy streets. It was very different from North Korea. She soon learned difficult things about her country that she did not know before. Hyeonseo had to live in hiding for many years. She used different names to stay safe. Life was hard and dangerous. She worked in restaurants and other jobs. One day, the police came to question her. Someone she knew told the police she was North Korean. She was very scared, but she passed a difficult Chinese test, so the police let her go. Many North Koreans hide in China. They live in constant fear. If the Chinese police catch them, they send them back to North Korea. There they face prison or worse. Many North Korean women in China are in great danger. Traffickers often trick them and sell them. Some reports say 60% of North Korean women in China become victims of human trafficking. For many defectors, China is only the first stop. They want to reach South Korea. To get there, they often make long, dangerous journeys. Some walk through big deserts like the Gobi. Others travel secretly through countries in Southeast Asia like Vietnam or Thailand. They must cross borders carefully, always afraid of being caught. Some defectors show amazing strength to survive. Oh Chang-song was a soldier who escaped by running across the dangerous DMZ border while other soldiers shot at him. Another man, a fisherman, swam for 6 hours in the sea to reach South Korea. These escapes are very rare. Most people escape through China, like Hyeonseo. After many years living in fear and using different names, Hyeonseo finally found a way to get to South Korea. Her long time hiding in China was over, but her story did not end there. She started a new, dangerous plan. She wanted to rescue her mother and her brother, Min-ho, from North Korea. Bringing them to freedom was difficult. Adjusting to life in South Korea was also hard for them, like it is for many defectors. Later, Hyeonseo started to share her story. She became an important voice, speaking about North Korea and the difficult journeys of its people seeking freedom.
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.